So, when you hear the words yoga and Ayurveda, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, they seem like two totally separate things. One's for the soul and the other's for the body. But what if that's only half the story? Today, we're going to dive into how these two ancient practices aren't just related, they're actually twin sciences, born from the same wisdom and totally designed to work together. Let's get into it.
Yeah, on the surface, the difference seems pretty clear, right? We usually think of yoga as this path to spiritual growth, all about harmonizing the mind and soul. And then you have Ayurveda, which we see as the science of life. Achieving that body-mind balance through lifestyle and therapy. One seems to be looking up, and the other is looking at what's right here on the ground.
But is that separation really real? Or have we just been looking at two sides of the exact same coin the whole time? That's the big question we're unpacking today.
Exactly. Because if you go way back to the ancient Vedic texts, that whole separation it melts away. They're presented as twin sciences working hand in hand toward one single unified goal. And this integrated approach is often called Yoga Ayurveda. It's a complete, holistic system for both healing the body and awakening the spirit. See, it's not about choosing one over the other. It's about understanding how they literally complete each other. To really get this, we've got to understand the Ayurvedic idea of health, or swasthya. And trust me, it is so much more than just not being sick. It's a dynamic balance of our bodily humors, the doshas, our tissues, the dhatus, and our mind, the manas, all working in harmony with our deepest consciousness, the atma. So in this view, real health is total absolute integration.
Okay, so if that's our destination, how do we get there? Well, think of Ayurveda as providing the map, a really detailed, comprehensive guide to the human body and mind.
And our guide for reading this map is one of Ayurveda's all-time greats, a master named Vagbhata. In his masterpiece, the Ashtanga Hridaya, he makes it crystal clear that yoga isn't some afterthought. It is a core therapeutic tool for restoring that very harmony that defines health.
Vagbhata's text is just brilliantly laid out in these 6 sections, or sthanas. And this isn't just a boring list, it's a complete journey. It kicks off with the basic principles of life, walks you through anatomy and disease, and then brings you all the way to advanced therapies. It's literally a complete science of living.
So where does yoga fit into this super detailed map? Well, this is the fascinating part. It's not just in one section. It's woven through the entire system. Let's follow that thread, starting right from the foundation. We're starting at the very beginning, the Sutra Sthana, which is all about the general principles of health and ethics.
Right from the get-go, yoga provides the essential groundwork. What this means is, before we can even talk about herbs or treatments, we first need that mental and moral discipline that yoga built. Things like controlling our senses, living with moderation, and keeping our thoughts pure. That is the true bedrock of health.
Next, we move into the body itself with the Sharira Sthana. And this is where things get really interesting, because Ayurveda looks at way more than just flesh and bone.
Here, yogic practices like meditation are absolutely key. They're like a bridge, connecting our physical body to our consciousness. Through this practice, you can actually start to perceive the subtle anatomy that Ayurveda maps out, the energy channels, or nadis, and those spinning energy centers we call chakras. So, in a way, yoga is the microscope for seeing the invisible energies that Ayurveda wants to balance. Okay, so let's look at what happens when things get out of whack. The next sections cover pathology, what causes disease, and therapeutics, which is how we treat it. And this is where we see yoga's incredible dual role. It's both prevention and cure. Practices like meditation and pranayama, which is breath control, directly tackle stress, something Vagbhata saw as a root cause of so many diseases. By stabilizing the doshas and calming the mind, these practices don't just prevent illness, they actually make other Ayurvedic treatments, like herbs, work even better.
It's also really important to know that yoga isn't just one thing. The Yoga Ayurveda system gets that there are many different paths, but they're all leading toward that same goal of holistic balance. And as you can see here, different paths of yoga target different parts of who we are. You've got Raja Yoga for controlling the mind, Jnana Yoga for deep wisdom, Karma Yoga for selfless action, and Bhakti Yoga for emotional balance. Each one is a different tool in the Ayurvedic kit, you could say, all working to purify our system and get us back to that state of perfect health, or swasthya.
So, to bring it all home, yoga's role in Ayurveda is truly holistic. It is not just about the physical poses. It strengthens the body, sure, but it also regulates our vital energy, our prana, purifies the mind, and grows this deep inner peace, all of which just paves the way for the ultimate goal, self-realization. And this all brings us to the profound conclusion of this whole system. At its very heart, Yoga Ayurveda teaches one simple but incredibly powerful truth. True health is unity. It's a truly symbiotic relationship, a perfect partnership. Ayurveda gives us the map, that physiological framework to build a stable, healthy body. And then yoga gives us the path, the practices that refine our energy and consciousness, using that healthy body as the vehicle for a much, much higher journey, restoring that lost sense of unity.
So the ultimate goal here, it's way bigger than just being free of disease. It's about completely dissolving that wall we think exists between consciousness and matter, between spirit and body, to finally experience what it's like to be truly whole.
And this state of unity, it actually has a name: moksha, or liberation. It's the ultimate freedom from suffering that comes when you're living in perfect harmony, not just inside yourself, but with the entire universe. Health is the foundation for freedom.
Which brings us to a final thought. If this ancient wisdom is telling us that perfect health is the unity of body, mind, and spirit, it kind of leaves us with a question we have to carry into our own lives. How are we practicing that unity day to day?